Hi everyone. So this quick section of notes I'm going to go through with you guys right now is intended to help you guys with the next Matheo workspace you're going to be working on. The layout of this workspace is going to look exactly like this, so that's the reason why I'm kind of setting it up how it is, so it can kind of help guide you guys as you log on to Matheo next week to complete this workspace. Okay, make sure you have all this written down exactly as how I have it, so it's just going to kind of be a mimic of what you guys are going to look at and you can refer back to when you're doing Matheo. Okay, the colors aren't needed, as I mentioned before. It's just kind of a visual guide to help you. Okay, so before we kind of get into filling in some of these blanks, let's talk about, first of all, it says for our notes called arc length notes, okay? So we're kind of talking about, or we have been talking about, angles and circles, right? So you guys talked about your central angle, which is in the diagram below, inscribed angles, but now we're actually going to be talking about arc length. So arc length is simply just the physical distance between 2 points along a circle's circumference, okay? So if you were like take some string, right, and kind of line it up over the orange part right here, and then measure that string, that would give you the actual length of that piece of the circumference, okay? So we're going to be measuring the actual arc length from S to V eventually. That's going to be the last piece we do, okay? So before we get there, let's talk about some of the pieces that they fill in for us. So first of all, they're saying the radius of circle T is 42 inches, and that's given, right? So if we look at our diagram, they gave us 2 radii, right, from S to T and from V to T, and those are measured as 42 inches each, okay? And that's just given information. And then it says the measurement of angle STV, so from point S to T to V. Again, notice I highlighted that in green, and that angle in there is 36 degrees. And once again, that's just given information to us, okay? We didn't have to figure that out. That was just on my diagram. Okay, the next piece is saying the measurement of arc, right, that little curvy part above the 2 letters is arc SV. So I know if I'm given a central angle here, right, this angle 36 degrees, and the vertex of my angle is the center point of my circle, I know the arc it intercepts is also going to be that same measurement. So in this case, it's also going to be 36 degrees. I'm going to write 36 degrees, and my reason for that is simply just because it's a central angle, right? We've already talked about what that is and the meaning of it. Okay, so central angle, okay? Next, it's asking us for the circumference of circle T. So circumference, our simple formula for that is just pi times the diameter. So in this case, if I know my radius is 42, right, so I'm going to do the work over here. If my radius is 42 inches, I know my diameter, the full length across, is just double that. So it'd be 84 inches. So I'm going to do 84 times pi. So, or 3.14. So 3.14 times my diameter is 84. So let's take a calculator. And I'm going to do 84 times 3.14. And I get 263.76. So I'll do 263.76 inches, right? And then, let's see, our reason, we're just going to say circumference. Okay. All right. Now, these last two, it's saying arc to circle ratio of arc SV. So think of it, right? If this is my arc, and we're going to have a ratio compared to the entire circle, we're simply just going to write that ratio. So if I know my arc is 36 degrees, it's just going to be 36 over whatever the full measurement of a full circle is, right, in terms of degrees. So we should know it's 360. So it's going to be 36 degrees divided by 360. And I think in Matheo you can actually just put it in as that, and it'll convert it to a decimal for you. If you want to go ahead and put it as a decimal in your calculator, you can go ahead and do that. So we do 36 divided by 360, and we get 0.1, right? So you can also write 0.1. And the reason for that is just going to be arc to circle ratio. Arc, all kind of pretty self-explanatory, right? Arc to circle ratio. And these will be options on your drop-down when you guys do the Matheo, okay? So again, this is why I'm kind of outlining it for you guys. So when you go ahead and do it, this is going to be a great key for you guys. Okay. Now your last piece is the arc length of SV, of arc SV. So meaning what's the actual length of this arc here. Now to find that, all you're going to do is take the arc to circle ratio and multiply it times the circumference. So essentially it's going to be multiplying these two numbers together. Okay, so in my case, I'm just doing 0.1 times 263.76 and I get 26.376, right? That's just moving the decimal place over 1. So 226.376. And once again, my reasoning for that, that's just going to be arc length. Okay?